You know that one person who never shows up, always has a reason. Headache again, exhausted again, let's reschedule again. But here's what nobody says out loud. They're not flaking on you. They're taking care of themselves. If you're someone who genuinely looks forward to a quiet evening at home more than any party on the calendar, stay with me, because today we're exploring the real psychology behind people who love staying in, the ones the world calls antisocial, but science calls something far more interesting. Here's where it starts. Extroverts gain energy from being around people. The crowd, the noise, the constant movement, that's their fuel. But for introverts and people who genuinely prefer solitude, every social interaction costs something. Even a good night out leaves them running on empty, and home is the only place where they actually recover. Psychologists call this optimal stimulation theory. Different nervous systems need different levels of input to function well. Some need more, some need less. It's not laziness, it's not fear, it's biology. But introversion is only part of the story. A lot of people love being home because home is the one place where they're actually in control. Out in the world, everything is unpredictable. Unexpected noise, plans that shift last minute, small talk that goes nowhere. But at home, you decide the temperature, the lighting, the energy in the room. For people with anxiety or high sensitivity, that's not a preference. That's a necessity. Here's something most people don't know. Research consistently shows that people who seek out solitude tend to score higher in creativity, self-awareness, and complex thinking. Staying home isn't switching off. It's where the real thinking happens. Not in a loud restaurant, but in a quiet room, a long shower, a 2 a.m. thought that leads somewhere unexpected. And let's be real, the world makes you feel guilty for this. Social media is full of highlight reels, rooftop gatherings, best night ever captions. But what if your best night ever involves dim lights, your favorite show, and no one asking you anything? That's not a consolation prize. That's self-knowledge. Now there's an important distinction to make here. Some people stay home because it genuinely restores them. Others stay home because the outside world feels too heavy to face, because of social anxiety, unresolved pain, or depression that makes isolation feel like the only safe option. For those people, home stops being a sanctuary and starts becoming a trap. So the question worth asking yourself honestly is this: does staying in fill you up, or does it just protect you from something you haven't dealt with yet? One is peace, the other is avoidance. But for people who truly, genuinely love being home, they're not missing out on life. They're living it differently. They find meaning in the small, consistent things. The morning routine that never gets old. The specific corner of the couch that's theirs. The way a room feels at a certain time of day. These aren't small things to them. These are the whole point. Psychologists describe this as low stimulation preference. These people don't need external entertainment to feel alive. Their inner world is already full. So if you're someone who cancels plans without guilt, who has a genuinely good time on a solo weekend, who would rather go deep into something familiar than chase something new, you're not broken. You're not behind. You're just someone who values depth over spectacle and stillness over performance. So tell me, do you actually love staying home, or do you think it's become a habit you've started to hide behind? And if you want more psychology that actually explains the parts of yourself you've never had words for, the next video goes even deeper. Watch it. You'll see exactly what I mean.